Can't tell you how many times I've said that. Hi, everybody. It's Sybil. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's George Wallace Day. Hey, George Wallace.
And good afternoon, everybody. What a wonderful day. It's Thursday. I'm here with you, Sybil, and I always feel good when I'm with you because you're so special. We were talking about you today on DL Hughley on how special you are. And it's a pleasure to be here.
And today remind me to pay you.
We have great guests. We have a guy that has been bothering me for years, and I thought he'd been on with us already. That's the great Michael Colyar. Everybody know him from everything.
Thank you very much.
Hey, George.
Thank you.
Mr. Michael Colyar, it's great to see you in person.
It's great to see you, Sybil. It's not all that great to see George, but it's fabulous to see you.
And before you go any further, Sybil, can I ask him a question? And before I get to Sylvia?
Can we introduce Sylvia so that we just have her hanging here in the balance?
Well, she's going to take up so much time because she does a lot of talking. I just wanted to ask Michael. Do you regret giving away that $50,000 or your $100,000 you won on Star Search?
Yeah, I've been trying to get that back ever since. Yes.
That was like 50 years ago.
Yeah, but he's still mad. Yeah, he could use that money now. He ain't got no money. And also with us, the great Sylvia Traymore Morrison. Everybody knows this lady. Well, maybe some people don't know her, but it's incredible to have her on. Former associate producer of Saturday Night Live, if y'all don't know that. The first black lady to host a show,
That's right.
a roast with Muhammad Ali, the great Muhammad Ali. And she was asked to do that by the great Dick Gregory. She's with us today. She's one of the great comedians out of the Chocolate City, or do they call it?
Yes.
Washington, D.C. And that's Sylvia Traymore Morrison, a great impressionist. I met her in Las Vegas working with the great Monique. And I'm telling you, you're in for some fun. And I don't have to say anything because everybody knows Michael Colyar can talk his ass off.
Well, you've done pretty well already, George. So with that,
as Michael Colyar would say, what is that big black round thing in your face? What's sticking? What is that big?
Sylvia Traymore Morrison, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you back. It's such a fan, and we had such a good time with you. And it's truly an honor to have you back. And as George mentioned, not all, but many of your credits. But are you the first and only African American female impressionist?
Well, I was for like about 40 years, and I think a couple have started to surface, and it just blesses my heart when I see black girls doing impression, and a couple of them are really good. They're really good. But yeah, I was the first black one in the history of this country for years.
That is so awesome.
That's amazing.
And Michael Colyar, it's great to have you here. As I told you earlier, it's great to see you in person and watch your. Yeah, of course, you're a comedian known around the world, but I watch you now as a morning TV host.
Yay, thank you. I don't do no impressions, but yes, thank you. Well, I do have Paul Mooney. Oh, nigga, please. But that's it. That's all.
Who the hell is Pookie Jenkins?
You don't know Pookie Jenkins from down 103rd and Great? He walks with a limp, got a patch on his left eye. You know
I haven't met him yet. I have not met Pookie yet.
No,
you might introduce us to him.
The pack of cigarettes.
Okay. So you're sitting in his spot for him today?
Yes, I'm his seat warmer.
Until he gets back.
It's going to be crunchy when he comes back. It's warm.
What the hell is a grown man doing with something like that? That's a toy.
Please ignore this.
Is that what I... Oh, what is that?
This chicken don't have nothing to do with it.
I love when you bring that chicken on your show. I absolutely love it. It's everything. Yeah.
And do you choke that?
I have choked this chicken many a night, young lady.
You have? Okay. All right.
But he always comes back.
That was the smoothest transition. You do choke your chicken. That is so nice.
You made him laugh, George. You tickled my chicken.
And George tickled your chicken.
Listen to me. I ain't touching your chicken, okay? I love chicken, but I ain't touching your chicken. Okay, that's one thing I'm not going to do.
Vegetarians hate that chicken.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Let's talk a little bit of news right now because I don't know if you all are like I am, but I could certainly use the laughter today. Looking at the things that have been going on just in the span of 12 hours.
12 hours, yeah.
The president has come forth and given a speech this afternoon after news came across this morning about 2 explosions at the Kabul airport in Afghanistan. And as this whole thing went through and talking about, first of all, the August 31st deadline, which is now days away, talking about how we're going to get these thousands of people out of there, including Americans and the Kabul citizens, the Afghanistan citizens who have helped the Americans so much in their years there. And then came word of one explosion and then a second explosion. As the morning went on, then it was unfortunate declaration of 12 deaths, 11 from the Navy and 11 Marines, I believe, and one from the Navy, and giving that information. And there are still some 5,000 Americans that are still American military that are still there trying to get folks out. And the president was obviously very emotional about this, and I am too. I don't know if you all felt the same way, but Sylvia, did you watch this as it was happening today?
You know, I didn't get an opportunity to watch it as it was happening, but of course I heard about it. And you know, I've always had this thing, especially for our military, because I went to Europe to entertain the American troops.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah,
from the Vietnam War, and I got hooked on this whole military thing. So when I hear things like 11 Marines and one Navy man, it just breaks my heart. You know, it really does. I think about their families, and it's got to be such madness, such unbelievable madness taking place over there right now, especially with the 2 bombs. That's just it's way out of way out in space somewhere. That's so deep.
And I think just being over there as a service person is pretty touchy. You're afraid, you don't know what's going on yourself. You know?
And you looking over your shoulder, because apparently George and Michael and Sylvia, they had warnings that something was going to happen. Their intelligence was telling them that something was going to happen, and sure enough it did. But just did not expect this. And once again, we're talking suicide bombers. We're talking about people who have no regard for their own human lives. And so what do you expect?
Well, so if I can ask this question, if I can ask a question for everybody that's here, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for asking it, but I don't know the answer, so I want to ask what other people think.
Absolutely.
When this first came up, the president was going to take out was going to release the troops and bring them home, and all that other good stuff. Didn't people think I mean, I don't know, and I'm honest, I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes, but didn't they think that, well, you know, I better get out of here before it gets too wicked? It has gotten. I mean, I know that there are people, I've seen videos of people saying, you know, I should have left last week, or I should have. I'm just wondering what were people thinking when they announced it, and they didn't make a move to try to get out. And I'm sorry, y'all. I just
I hope you don't get in trouble for saying that, because I thought that once the president left the country, I would have thought myself, I better get the hell out of here right now. That's what I would have thought. But that's what we're thinking. When you're there, it's a different situation. And like you, I work for all of the troops all over the Pacific Rim, every base in the Pacific Rim, and I get a feeling of how these guys feel. But just being on a base and you don't know what's happening, and but the people there, I think, I'm not going to say, I don't want to get in trouble, but it
was a big mistake. It was a big mistake in the first place to pull out. I don't know who talked to who about this, but that was a terrible decision, because Taliban's been hanging out and waiting.
Just lying in wait.
Opportunity, and then we announce that we're pulling out. That means now they've given Taliban time to prepare what they want to do, because they know there's a date. That the only people who are saving that country are leaving that country, and they're all in the mountains and stuff, just waiting for that. So we should have saw that coming.
I apologize to disagree with you, but how long are we going to stay? I mean, we've been there for 20 years. We've accomplished nothing. We spent a lot of money there, and that same money we spent there, that's our infrastructure package right now. So at some time we did have to leave, and we do have to leave, whether it's now or when. How long are we going to stay?
The manner in which they did it, George, that's what's most disturbing to me. And I think that we did help people, and especially if you look in terms of the women and girls that were held over the 20 years. But to your point, Sylvia, I think bureaucracy played a big part in this, in people getting out. They were talking about how people were going to the embassy every day for months to get their papers in order. right? And so they weren't able to, for whatever reason, the backlog of all of this, and that on top of the clock is ticking, and the embassy people are saying, well, look, take these papers home and fill them out. And they were all in English. A lot of these people did not have the skills to fill out this information. And so there were a lot of things that compounded so that when they got down to that Sunday that we saw, when everything was just going to hell, that was when people were, oh God, what do we do? And so they were all scrambling to get out. And it's heartbreaking. And George, to your point, this is something that Joe Biden has always been in favor of. He's never wanted to stay there. I would say for the last 10 years or so, he had been wanting to say we need to get out of Afghanistan. But
even Trump said that.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because Donald Trump is the one that his whole team put this in place. And so, a lot of folks like the Secretary of State Pompeo in the Trump administration, is trying to throw it back on the Biden administration, but they have to take a lot lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
It was a stupid move, period. They didn't plan it. And it's not only did they not plan it, they didn't plan it well. Even if they was going to leave, I know George didn't, we don't need to be there forever, but that's something you pull out gradually. You don't want to leave a country frustrated because you snatched it out. You want to slowly leave. So as you leave, take some people out. You take some citizens out. You take people out who know will be in danger if they leave, and you make sure that their military forces is ready for it. But you can't everybody just pick up all this stuff at once and leave people who you've been protecting for 20 years. We just don't protect you no more, even though they gave them a time window of when they're leaving. That didn't give them enough time to actually be ready to fight a war with guys who's waiting to just fight.
And let's talk about the people that they were training who were not ready for them to take over. They're the Afghani soldiers. Arthretta Wilson on Facebook says, we had to make good on what 45 said or it would have been worse. And I've heard that before, Arthretta, and I don't have the, and I know sometimes this is an oxymoron, but I don't have the military intelligence to figure out what all of this means. But there was a lot going on that we just didn't know about.
And are we also looking at the Afghanistan bureaucracy? Because a lot of stuff that they took, that they said was being used for soldiers, weren't being used for soldiers.
That's right.
They just took the
not even to pay for the soldiers, right, Michael? Because a lot of people, they had to pay the other government people.
They took money for food that was supposed to be feeding people and used it for their own pockets. So they had their own bureaucracy going on too.
Well, I can tell you guys right now, it's. I already know that I'm going to have emotional setbacks when I think about the women and the girls, the little girls, that, we already went through that whole thing about bring our girls back, in
Rwanda and have you,
Rwanda. And I'm thinking, what in the world is going to happen? I'm trying to imagine that Afghanistan, the Taliban would just go in and do in a whole bunch of people that are already there. You know what I'm saying?
And you're absolutely right, because the Taliban is telling the women, we can't be responsible for our soldiers because they don't know how to treat women.
It's an ugly situation.
I think all of this in the short run seems bad, but I think in the next year, 2 years, I think it's going to get better. We don't know what kind of Taliban we're dealing with. They say they're going to be easy on the women. They did say that, and I hope it's better. But I think right now everybody's upset, but I think 5 years down the road, we're going to look back and say, well, we got out.
Well, George, would you be willing to go over there as an ambassador?
Right. Yeah. Would you go and take over the embassy and be the ambassador to Afghanistan?
Hell no.
I'm not going to even go to the Afghanistan embassy that's in LA. And really, I wish they would take them troops and land them in Compton instead of Afghanistan.
How about Chicago? How about put a few of them in Chicago?
Sit them in one of the areas where our people are being devastated.
Come on now.
And get them time to build our communities back up. What about the women on State Street in Chicago who trying to get it together?
That's what I would do, Michael. Bring them home. Yeah. I definitely would go to Chicago. Stop the shooting in Chicago.
It's terrible. Yeah, let's build our communities back.
Well, I think the most detrimental thing as far as our country is concerned is how the Biden administration is going to go from here, because they have not done a good job, from my opinion, the way that they have just all rolled out.
They've done a job, and not done the best job, but
well, it shows a lack of precision and planning, George.
Yeah, well,
it shows that.
You know what? What really bothers me is this is a time when y'all could use a fool like Trump, because Trump would have stopped and turned it around. If he saw it wasn't working, he said, "Okay, I changed my mind. Everybody, let's go back in. We're gonna add the troops because he don't give a damn. He's gonna do whatever he needs to do to win and to make us look good." Biden is on the fence, decide what we're gonna do next. Let's think about it. Let's not move too quickly. He chicken.
I think you're wrong about Trump. Trump has never done anything right. Nothing.
No, he ain't never done nothing right. But the thing is, he ain't never been afraid to step up and do whatever he thought was right.
He's the first one to say, "Let's take him out," though.
He was. This was a part of his plan last year, and this is where it all started.
But I'm saying that watching how he's operated, if things don't go the way he wants them to go, he'll stop and pivot. And on that note, that's what COVID is about. People are all messed up because they think COVID is the end of the world, but COVID is about a pivot. It's about you pivoting your life and figuring out what else you can do, how you build your health, how you can change what's going on. People are like, "Oh, it's the end of the world. COVID come. God is mad. So he did all the work." My God is not a punisher. He had nothing to do with that. All I'm saying is we have to learn to pivot in life. If things ain't working, we got to stop, change, and see how we can make a thing better. That's
always been life, though. That's every day you live, you got to pivot.
But this is a major pivot. This is a major worldwide pivot.
Right.
Right, George?
Worldwide pivot. Yeah.
Right,
So,
George?
may I ask this of Michael and George and Sybil? Of course, please chime in, because I always ask these questions that I almost get.
And can we also ask our people who are watching and listening with us today for their input on this as well?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Sylvia. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to ask you guys, and I know this is far-fetched, but what would you have done if you were Biden and in the position that he's in with respect to the whole shebang?
I can tell you exactly what I would have done. I would have planned to get everybody out on time, and I had a schedule. Are these people out? You got these people, got in touch with these people. You got this group over here. You got them out. Maybe even if I announced the date, the 31st, I still would have planned to get those people out before then. I would have done that. That's what you got to do. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I want to be clear on your question. Is your question, what would you have done if you were Biden from the beginning?
From the beginning.
If you were Biden when you saw this mess fall apart? Which question
Those are two different questions, too.
Yeah,
they are.
That's the question she's asking.
After Trump had made his announcement, I'm talking about from that point on, and Biden comes Michael comes into position as the president to make a decision.
George is
I may
right.
be wrong, but I would never, ever give a date, the exact date that I'm going to pull out. Okay. I would just gradually pull out, and all of a sudden they would have said, "What happened to the people?" What happened to the people? And one night they'd have woke up. It would have been like the Cleveland Browns. It would have been like the Cleveland Browns or the Baltimore.
Overnight.
What the hell happened to the Americans?
That's good.
That's excellent.
I like that.
Wow.
Okay.
I agree with you.
I told y'all I should have been president a long time. That's how I would have done it.
Well, it's not too late, because I'm not sure what's going to happen. But Sylvia, I have a hard enough time getting myself out of the house first thing in the morning. I don't know that I'm
that would be me.
Right?
Too much organization.
Okay.
Too much organization.
That's going to take more than an army to get me together and to get out. And that's the God's honest truth. I am critical of the way the president did this, but he has a wealth of people and personnel and armies to get this done. Right. And I was just very disappointed. And
we don't know what was happening in this country. It could have been so bad that Biden said, "Let's get out. We better go." And that's his personnel may have told him that. Let's get out as soon as possible.
I still think I would have sent them back.
And Teddy, you're right. Teddy on YouTube says that their president left them and their army stopped fighting. Yes, they did. On that Sunday, they absolutely did.
Exactly.
I would have brought them back. Wow. The moment things fell apart, I would say to everybody, we're making a U-turn. Even if I use new troops, not the ones that were there, I would have brought
What
them
different
back.
doesn't matter.
I would have created stabilization first.
Biden said to the American people, I'm not going to send your son, your daughter, your dad, your mother over there to their war. That's what he said.
Right. And he was
like
right.
That. I like
do
that.
too, because he had sent his son. His son was one of those that went over there. He knows whereof he speaks. Yeah. V613 didn't announce anything, according to Michelle. Oops, that was scandal. But so much truth in that, huh, Michelle? Scandal still rules our lives.
Wow. That's why I'm doing comedy instead of politics. The answer is I don't have a clue.
But you know what? But we need the three of you,
politics,
and your colleagues more than ever.
We should be in politics. Like all of us should be in politics.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what we could do if we were in politics. Comedians, funny people, we get shit done. We know what the people need. We know the social ills of the country. Let's get it done, and make it right. Whatever's wrong, make it right. Those troops you talk about, going to Chicago, clean it up.
Well, in the voice of
hungry people,
Melania Trump.
Yes.
In the voice of Melania Trump. I think my husband made a good decision for
I'm dead.
That's a question. Did you make a good decision?
Do Mrs. Lincoln? Did you say do Mrs. Lincoln?
No, I said, did you make a mistake,
Melania?
Oh, Mr. George, Dr. Comedian Wallace. I think my husband wanted you to come to the White House to talk about this. I didn't make the mistake. You didn't come, so he just did anything.
You know why?
I didn't come to straighten him out, George.
Because I wanted to be best. I want to be best and stay the hell out. Be best. When you gonna learn how to talk? And by the way, let's talk about that. When you gonna? You've been here for 30 years. When you gonna learn how to talk?
Well, now when she comes to the black neighborhood, it's a whole nother story about the Afghanistan war.
Oh, for sure.
What I think everyone here should do? Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
And you know she's coming to the barbecue with Darnell, the Secret Service agent that was guarding her. I'm just saying.
From the Capitol.
That's right. It is now time to ask what's really going on, ladies and gentlemen. What's really going on? Chica, I believe that we have something from Instagram that we want to play, and then I have a. So this is an Instagram, and the woman says her husband wrote their daughter a letter as she's preparing to go to college, and the father is there with a younger child, and the daughter is reading the letter from her dad, and the husband's trying to hold back tears. The daughter is crying, as you can hear, and everyone. And he wrote, "I didn't have a father or a blueprint, but I worked hard to give you one."
I admit we are not perfect. As a father, I wasn't perfect, but we always tried our best to give you your siblings a life, your experiences we didn't have growing up, and to shield you all from the dangers / pitfalls of the world. As you embark on this new journey, remember to pray and read your Bible daily. This is your blueprint in life. Stay on guard. Looking for the wolves. Choose your friends wisely. You are blessed if you have not one friend. And keep your purity until you get married. Your husband will be waiting on you. He is not someone who doesn't know God, doesn't have a career, living at home with his mom, and the list goes on. We will continue to talk about these characteristics. For now, focus on your school, your career, and communicating daily with the Lord.
So her dads also said that they are passing this down. They're giving her a car. They're paying for her college tuition, room and board. So
that's where the tears came in when he realized how much it was really going to cost. He burst into tears.
Well, he ain't seen no cost yet until she gets to college. That's where the money comes.
That's where she's headed. That's where she's headed.
That's what he's gonna get.
And I dare say that he's probably already gotten his first bill.
Right.
He took a second job so he can pay for the books.
Okay.
In any case, the most important thing is that here's a father that stepped up and that's doing the right thing. He reminds me of my father, giving back to the kid. And I tell you what, that's the time to just, okay, I'm getting ready to choke up myself. I think it's so wonderful.
So hold on, George. Let me just ask you. This was the ultimate show of love. And I see Michael, wiping his eyes too. This is an example of a father, who didn't have the blueprint, as he said, but this was his way of showing his daughter love and raising her the way that they did. And so the question to all of you and to those that are listening today, how do you show love, or how has love been shown to you? Because that is the ultimate sacrifice. And sometimes we don't look back at it till we're at a certain point in our lives, and it's too late to thank those people that showed us love, and that we were so blessed to be raised by. And so has this made a difference in your life? Have you been able to do that with people in your lives?
Well, I know I was holding back tears because I remember when I asked my father I go to college, and he said, if you don't get the hell out of here with that eye, hit you in the head with his bottle. And I was like, it was such a warm feeling.
That's funny. That is hilarious.
Was it the jack going down that gave you the warm feeling?
George, what's going on?
Oh, I'm just listening.
You look emotional.
You're very emotional,
well, she
George.
Said, when you talk about family and giving, and I've come from the best family ever. I don't know. I have a big family. You guys heard about my family reunions, 600 people, but I'm from that family and nothing but love and helping each other and everybody chipping in. It's pretty close to the Jewish families, donating to anybody going to school. We love to do that. And my mom and dad from day one, and my brothers and sisters, my oldest brother, George Wallace Jr., one of the first. There's 9 George Wallaces in my family, but one of the first Black professional golfers out there. I don't talk about him enough. When my dad died, the insurance money, he says, you take that money and you go to college. You pay for everything, the funeral and everything. He said, that's your college money. All my brothers, my sisters, my sister I live with in Ohio, Phoebe's mom, and all of my kids. And I try to give back. It's like I said, I love giving. There's nothing better than giving. Giving makes me feel good. That old saying, you can't get anything with your hands closed. But listen to me, just giving, oh God, it makes you feel so good. And I love having fun and seeing smiles on people's face. And education, that's the most important thing you can give. I'm trying
I think you've done 2 things, George. I think you've given education. You've helped those in your family get an education. And you also have given them, actually more than 2 things. You've given them the gift of laughter, and you've given them the love and the gift of travel. That's something you also encourage people.
But we have different family dynamics. My brother shot my first cousin. My brother shot my first cousin last Thursday.
Is that right?
It was over a card game. But they still cool. He only shot him in the foot. It was just like, dude, you can give me that $84. So I'm just saying, some of us approach family differently.
Well, let me say this. If you have an opportunity, especially we single, not single, but all of us responsible comedians that are making money, and we got family members and friends. Blood has nothing to do with real family. If you're ever in any position to give back and teach somebody knowledge, and Sybil mentioned travel, people that travel, if you can teach people to travel, that's a great education. You'll never get a better education to go to other countries and see other cultures. That is your job, is to give back. And if you don't know how to travel, you should travel.
Well, George, I don't know if many people know, I used to be what they called an airline stewardess. I worked in the airlines back in when I.
Well, you the girl on the commercial said, "I'm Sylvia, fly me."
But because I didn't make, and that's one of the reasons why I respect Monique so much, is because Monique stood up for, and I thought she was standing up for me when she did what she did, because I didn't make any money in comedy the first 10 years. I didn't make any money. Only when I went. So what I did for my kids, I got creative with them. I did songs. They all have their own song. And even to this day, they just freak out when I sing it. I have, and now I've done a few for my grandchildren because my daughters have children, and so I give them all their own songs. And they have to sing it with me, and it's something that I haven't shared with the public yet because it's for them. It's their gift from me. And now that I'm heading into the money bags like George and Michael Colyar and Sybil. They have me to sing their songs whenever they come around. I have my little baby granddaughter. Hers is her name is Kylie, and it's a 12-second song. It's and all of them are very short, but it's like, how'd you get so beautiful? How'd you get so beautiful? Did you get it from your mommy? From your daddy? Did you get it from your grandma? Or your other grandma? And she absolutely loves it. And they all say, well, sing mine. Like, sing them yourself. So
that's
can I just
tell
tell
you
you
what one of them going to say? How'd you be so ugly? How'd you be so ugly?
Go ahead, Michael.
I just tell you what I gave my children, and I can relate to what you're saying. And I gave my children tools. Your ass better get a job. Your ass better get a job. Your ass better get a job because you ain't living here for free. Come on, everybody.
That's adorable.
That's so hilarious. But it's with respect to the father who wrote the letter. I just think, in my world the world that I came up in, I was a daddy's girl. I was my father's. I was her. So when I see situations like that where this father's written a letter to his daughter, and that's just so. And George, to even hear you talk about your dad, you talk about your father, it just warms my heart because a lot of times men don't get the credit.
Right.
They don't get the credit that I believe they deserve for being great fathers. It's always this one ain't paid a child support. This one. Listen, great fathers out here. I know mine.
You should go to Linwood Park and ask anybody in Linwood Park about Deacon Wallace.
Oh, nice.
The whole community. If anything needed to be done, you know what they would say? Deacon Wallace can do it.
Oh, that's nice.
Any money need to be raised in the church, Deacon Wallace can get it. Anything need to be done anywhere. Anybody hungry? Deacon Wallace will take care of it. That's what I grew up in a house like that. Everybody would stop by my house for food, dinner. Anybody hungry? That was our house. That was our job. We even had a garden across the street. We raised vegetables. My mom would make us shell the peas, and then she'd give the damn peas away. How come she didn't?
That's funny.
But your purpose on earth is to give back. That's all I want to say. Everybody watching, your purpose is to give back.
And you agree with that, Michael?
My father's like, if you don't get your ass off these stairs, I'm going to get this gun. I don't even know you kids. Take your friend, go on down the street now, quit playing. I told you to bring that newspaper in here. Go on now.
What they say, Michael, go on now.
Love in there.
That is
yeah. That's
my dad actually taught me. He, when he was in 2 wars, so he fought in 2 wars, which is another reason why I'm all up in the Afghanistan thing. But he stayed in Paris for like 2 years, and he learned to speak fluent French. So when he came back, and I was born, and as a little girl, he taught me how to speak French.
Oh, are you Sylvie?
Oui.
Come on, stop. Nah, that's
but he could never figure out. But he still had problems.
He wasn't a good teacher, was he?
No, he would teach me stuff, and then his friends would come over, and he would want me to speak all this French, and I said, I can't remember it all. He said, just say a couple of lines, let them know that you know French. But as time progressed, I was speaking really good French, so that was a good gift for me.
That's awesome.
It's a really good gift.
And you guys have had such blessed lives. I love that.
I agree. I'm truly a blessed child.
Sybil, you need to talk now because you come from, even your grandparents were educated. That's very unusual.
It was. My grandfather was president of an HBCU, Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri.
Nice.
My mom was at first she was a social worker. She couldn't take it because it was
tough job.
It was a very difficult job. So she became a Chicago public school teacher. And my dad was a Chicago fireman. And my dad died when I was very young. But my mother picked up everything and just because she was a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
And so she, left all of these things with me. And I remember, this is just the first thing that came to my mind with that father, because my mother used to sing to me every morning to wake me up.
Ooh.
Oh,
And so when
My
you're
mama,
talking about the
my mama
songs
will
for
whoop
your
my ass to
children,
wake me up.
so my mother would sing "You Are My Sunshine," and I said this on the Joyner show, and they're like, "Your mama wasn't black."
Sybil,
that is hilarious.
Sylvia, they used to call my mama the stagecoach lady. The stagecoach. She had a belt, and she get up, get up, get up, get up, get up.
Sylvia,
Yeah.
Sylvia, how old were you when your father transcended?
When he transitioned?
No, I meant Sybil. I meant Sybil.
Oh, Sybil.
I was a little 8, 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did that blow your mind? You didn't know what happened? He was gone all of a sudden.
No, I knew. It was after the time that I thought that people just poof disappeared when they died because you didn't see them anymore. I knew that, but my dad, got up one Sunday morning, took me to Sunday school, and came home and getting ready for church, and had a heart attack and passed away that day. So, my mother just kind of, picked up, and my dad, I was the only girl. My dad had 3 sons from his first marriage, so he really didn't understand this girl thing at the time. But
where'd you grow up, Sybil? Where'd you grow up?
Outside of Chicago.
Outside?
Hey.
I know she missed it because he used to bring the fire truck home every night. And that's what Sybil first learned about.
That was a little game he and my mom used to play, George. I didn't partake.
Yeah, he'd have that fire truck. She'd say, "Reel in the hose, reel in the hose." You didn't know what he was talking about then,
I had no idea.
And your mom would turn on the siren.
It's now time for us to take a look at what's going on. I know we talked about Afghanistan and things, but I want to take a look at our newsletter, What You Need to Know. Michael, I don't know if you know that we do have a newsletter. It's called the What You Need to Know newsletter. It's something we started at before the Joyner show ended, and taking up where Tom left off. And we do stories, curate stories that are for the African American audience. And we would invite you, I invite you to sign up, to subscribe. It's absolutely free. Maybe you can find some items to use on your YouTube show every morning. I don't know.
I like free. Free is my thing.
Okay. Free is good. Free is good.
Nothing free.
Free food tastes better than regular food. I don't know if it's the ingredients or the preparation.
It's something.
I don't put no seasoning in free food. I just eat it quick before somebody change their mind.
Sylvia, when you were talking about your dad in France, I thought about a story that we did this week in the newsletter that was about Josephine Baker.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But when I saw that, I was like, I wonder if Whoopi Goldberg or Monique or Dionne Warwick, for instance, was to sing in their French voice. Dionne would probably go, thank you, you're my baby. I know you and I know my baby, my boo. Vous parlez français.
And tell him Whitney said, hey.
Yeah, but that story about Josephine Baker was amazing.
Isn't it? And did you know about her being a part of the French Resistance?
I did. Because of this Mom's Mabley coming up, I've been studying a lot of the women who are icons or legends that many of us have no clue who they were. Josephine Baker was one of the ones that I studied, and the other one that really, really got me was Ella Fitzgerald. Her story is so riveting. But baby, when she wants to scat,
come on.
A lady I think is very interesting, Pearl Bailey. Do you know anything about her?
What? Pearl Bailey might be in the top 3 for me. Pearl Bailey.
And Sybil, did you ever go to Broadway to see Pearl Bailey on Hello Dolly?
No.
No.
I was going to tell you, when I was a little girl, my mom used to take me. We didn't do Broadway because we couldn't afford to go to New York from Chicago like that. But one night, my mom did take me when Pearl Bailey was on the road show doing Hello Dolly. And
You
that
saw
was the
her?
first time. I was very
Really?
I
honored
saw
for
her in
Hello
New
Dolly.
York. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
Y'all
How
saw,
old are you?
y'all saw Hello Dolly. I used to do Pearl Bailey, and whenever I did, you know, it was always just as big as Mahalia Jackson.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Pearl Bailey. Well,
Yeah.
hello, Dolly. This is Pearl Dolly. You know,
Oh.
I talked to a couple of my friends.
Sybil, do you know I always thought Pearl Bailey was a comedian because every time she did
Yeah.
something. And another guy we don't talk about is George
It's fun.
Kirby. He's probably the first black
Yes.
impressionist.
Right.
Yes.
We need to talk
Yes.
about people like that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
he always did Pearl Bailey.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
can we not forget the trumpet master who's really the Michael Jackson of his era? Louis Armstrong
Mr. Armstrong.
was like the biggest thing on the planet when he was doing music. I mean, you talk about Michael Jackson, this guy was 10 times that. And he knew all music history.
At that time.
He played everywhere in the world, and everybody bowed down to try to figure out his type of music. You know,
Yeah.
so don't forget.
But he was
So-
still.
So let me take you back to our newsletter and ask you about our first story, who is a good friend. I'm sure he's a good friend of yours, George, and because he's a good friend of Donald
George
Trump.
ain't got no friends.
No, you don't. You know bullshit.
I'm
news
sorry.
like that. You do know bullshit news like that today. Listen to
Herschel
me.
Walker has tossed his helmet into the U.S. Senate race, George.
Herschel need to take his ass to Herschel, Pennsylvania, and where the chocolate belongs. Let me tell you something. Now, let me tell you something. I'm so happy he's running. I'm so happy he's running. Run, Herschel, run. I want you to run. That's going to be great for me. And people, they're trying to strategize where some black people may vote for Herschel.
Exactly.
It ain't going to happen. It ain't. Warnock is kicking your ass. Excuse me, preacher. But Warnock is going to kick your ass. And there's no way you can. I'm glad you're running, Herschel. Make sure you run.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. We need Herschel.
Well, he's in. He's in.
Yeah, he is.
He came from Texas last week, and he registered to vote. He
Right.
filed the papers and then threw his helmet into the ring. So
We're
he's
so
won.
happy.
Made
Sybil,
his
thank you.
announcement.
Texas, thank you for sending us Herschel.
Oh, we're
We
glad.
hope he makes-
We're glad to send him to you. Yeah.
This guy drank the Kool-Aid. Did he not drink the Kool-Aid?
Oh, for sure.
Yes, he
For
totally.
sure. Yeah,
Totally.
he's definitely. I mean, Donald Trump has been, pushing him for quite some time, and of course, it was that they want to see that black man, and this is going to be a first. This is.
These are my friends. He and Vernon. These are my friends. Both
I
of them.
know.
Both of them. So it's amazing.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So that will be an interesting
It's gonna be laughable.
first the primaries, because Herschel Walker has so many different issues. He's got mental health
He's
issues.
already gone. He beat it. Didn't he have a fight with his wife? Beat his wife one time.
Yeah, there's the domestic abuse. He had a thing with a gun, with a loaded weapon.
Run, Herschel. Run.
Yeah.
Run,
He's got a
Herschel. What's
lot.
that guy name?
Yeah, he's got a lot on him. So
Crazy does good in the White House. Crazy does good in
Well,
politics.
well, he
Crazy
did.
Michael,
does
that's
fine.
about the best I've heard about the White House. Crazy does good. I like
Crazy a
that.
real fault.
What's the Tom Hanks movie? Run, Herschel, run.
Yeah. Forrest Gump.
Yeah, run, Herschel, run. And he's going to be running too.
Also in our newsletter, Michael, we have a little bit of coronavirus information every day. And just when we thought we were going to be transitioning into some other health-related issues, here comes the Delta variant. And now, talking. Thank you, George. That's you have masks for the rest of us. Oh, George just disappeared. Oh my!
He put the mask. He had the mask that makes his whole head invisible.
I know. How did you do that, George?
Very special.
I'm working magic. I got masks for everybody. I got like 100 masks in my house.
Well, I'm sure you do.
I got wipes. I got everything because it's a whole new day. I'm going back. I'm isolated again. I'm going back and I'm quarantined again. So.
Well, let me ask you about the Delta Airlines decision, you guys, where the CEO of Delta has announced that those people who have not been vaccinated, the Delta employees who have not been vaccinated, they're going to take an extra $200 out of their check every month.
Well,
for
they
health
have
insurance.
That's a smart move. Why should we pay for that? Because these people are going to get sick, and then what Delta has to pay for it. So everybody needs responsibility. That's how I think
they're ripping them off. They should not take their money. It's not on them to do that.
Well, they got to pay their money once they get sick.
So what would you have them do? What's your suggestion?
I would have them leave people alone. I think that we can beat COVID with holistic modalities. That's what I think. I had COVID for 13 days. I whooped his ass with echinacea and golden seal, black seed oil, the sinus blaster, honey, ginger root tea. I beat his ass so bad. COVID apologized as it left out my house. He
Don't talk too soon, son.
The Bloods and the Blackstone Rangers. COVID don't mess with me. So I think your body is personal. I think your body is yours. I think you don't have a right to ask me if what I have in my body.
I know I'm a comedian. I know you're a comedian. I know we're all comedians, but I hope we don't be doing no shows 6 months from now talking about, did you hear Michael Sybil playing this back? You beat COVID's ass. You don't know whether you beat COVID's ass yet or not.
Let me ask another person in the room who beat COVID's ass. And Sylvia Traymore Morrison.
Come on, Sylvia.
How do you feel about this?
Turn to your left, Sylvia, and talk to him.
Well, COVID whooped mine. COVID whooped my butt good. COVID put me in a place where, I mean, I did all the holistic, I did all of that. I had somebody here with me who I'm thankful to stay with me for the 14 days I was down. So I'm kind of delighted to hear you, Michael, say that you beat it. But it was the most horrendous, it was the most devastating, it was traumatic, it was horrible, it was evil, and it was demonic for me.
It was scary.
It was very scary because, especially if you're in a certain age bracket. And I really didn't say anything at first, but after I thought about it, I went out to my younger crowd, to my younger people who follow me, and asked them, if you don't do anything else, and I'm almost crying saying this, y'all. I'm almost crying saying this. Stay away from your grandparents and your mother and father because they don't deserve the same way people feel that they don't deserve that people should get into their body information or whatever. But these older people who have quarantined themselves, tried to protect themselves, and here you come because you want to be out there without a mask and partying with your friends and doing all this kind of stuff, and you come and give it to them. They can't fight. And now the young people are having problems fighting COVID.
Yeah, it's the Delta variant has taken down the young.
Yes, it's taken down that little 9-year-old girl that died the other day. But that just tore me down. But COVID by itself, I had pneumonia and COVID, but COVID by itself was so horrible. I was having hallucinations, and I was so sick. I mean, the nauseousness and everything. Oh my, I can't really even explain it. So I have a different attitude about being around people who feel like they don't have to protect themselves. If they don't believe in the, I'm not trying to tell people to take the shot. I'm not trying to tell them not to take the shot.
Right.
I'm trying to tell them, if you don't
I'm telling them to take the damn shot. You're putting everything else in your damn body. Take the damn shot.
Well, how about this, George? How about this? Stay out of the hospitals then. If you don't believe
it's the same damn needle. It's the same damn needle. It's the same needle.
Yeah.
Stay away. And I'm wrong.
No.
I'm getting ready to say, if you don't.
Wait.
So go ahead.
How do we feel about what's name? How do we feel about Busta Rhymes' take on it?
He's an idiot.
What happened to Busta Rhymes?
Busta Rhymes went on a rant.
Don't wear a mask, fuck a mask. A mask can suck my ding-a-ling.
Yeah.
And he did a rant about it. I don't never wear a mask. I can't talk to you without a mask. You won't see my face when I'm trying to rap to you with a mask. They can suck my ding-a-ling.
He did.
Huh? We had a cardinal say that 2 weeks ago that he didn't want to wear the mask. But where's his?
He didn't quite say it in the Busta Rhymes rhyme.
Herman Cain said it.
Herman Cain said it. Where is he?
Look where Herman Cain is.
He said the Lord.
He was dead as a doornail.
He said he's going to trust in the Lord. Now he's talking to the Lord.
We do have to do the prevention. I'm definitely doing the mask. I'm staying away from people. I wash my hands about 174 times a day. If I see you wash your hands, I wash my hands. Me and my girl even wear our masks to bed. Sometimes I don't know who I'm fucking.
Well, who the hell wouldn't wear a mask going to bed with you? Look at you. Oh, you got a mask on now, don't you?
A lot of people need to wear a mask too. Don't let them eyes fool you. Thank God they got a mask on.
You know what? It's funny because I know I'm a comedian, but when I talk about COVID, all of my humor goes away.
Yeah.
Because I remember, and I really don't like telling. I did write a book about it.
Right. I was going to ask you to tell Michael about that.
Yeah. It's called Me, Satan, God, and COVID, because all four of us were in the room together. And when I tell you the horror for me and COVID, the horror, I've had almost my entire family to say, just because you went through what you went through, I'm getting the shot, and they have, you know, and again, it's
God
like
bless them.
it was so riveting and so bad that if I say to my friends who say, well, I know people that made it, I'm like, let me tell you this, just try not to get it, because it is wicked. So it's a demon.
The worst part of it for me is it was scary. Yeah, and I'm not very scary, but I was crying like a little bitch. Let me tell you something. I was terrified.
You can't be crying and say what you just said a few moments ago, like you kicked his ass.
More of these natural things, because I always take the natural things anyway, which is why I was able to beat it. Because when they came knocking on my door, I already have a strong immune system. But I doubled and tripled up on the immune system stuff, and that's what ran it out. But I ain't never sweat so much. I could wring my my pillowcase. I wring that thing out. I sweated so much, but I think the fear of it.
Are you sure you kicked Kobe's ass?
What happened? My mom, what?
Are you sure you kicked Kobe's ass? The way you ringing worn out?
I kicked him in the head with a combat boot. Let me tell you, we were doing comedy in DC last week at the Comedy Loft, and there was a nurse there. I stopped the whole show so we could praise her. Nurses, these people on the front
line. Good for you, Michael.
They do for real. I don't care what nobody say, because when you come in there scared and sweating, they're the ones that calm you down.
That's right.
They're the ones that get you straight, because you can't beat nothing if you're frightened.
Let's go back to the most important point. Get vaccinated. Get your shot. Yeah. Sybil, am I mean? Am I too nasty?
No.
I'm thinking that, listen, if you don't take the shot, you're unvaccinated. Look, my stage manager died last Friday, okay?
Oh,
give me my mic every night for 3 years. But if you don't get vaccinated, I think there's an emergency room and you come down to the room, who's been vaccinated, come in first. Those has not been vaccinated, wait. Am I wrong? I know I'm wrong, but I apologize.
No, you're not. No,
George. No, I don't think you're wrong. You know, I'm like,
Michael says I am wrong.
I said you are not at all wrong,
because you've been warned. Get the shot. It's just like the people in Afghanistan. You know you have the information. Be prepared.
Let me
have their own position on it, and I respect yours.
Absolutely. You're talking. It's time for us to talk entertainment, and I really want to find out where you all are and where you're performing. Because Michael, as we said, people can see you on YouTube. Tell people about your morning show.
Oh, it's a fabulous show.
You're working somewhere now. You look like you're in a hotel room. Are you working somewhere now, Michael?
See, when people like George talk, I just pull out the jig. Say whatever you want, George. We can't hear your loud ass now. My show is only on YouTube, and it's live 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific time. So that's 9 a.m. to 10 Central time and 10 until 11 Eastern time. It's called the Michael Colyar Morning Show. And I started this show because of COVID. Because when COVID hit March 13th of last year, every comedy club in America closed on the same damn day. And I was in Philadelphia to do helium. I had never done a helium. I've been trying to get it forever. They called me and said, you can go back home. Club is closed, and all the clubs closed. I was booked somewhere for 8 months. Every weekend I was booked. All that was wiped out in a day. I could have went home, cried like a little bitch, or I could have pivoted. I could have found out what else can I do. So I sat in my kitchen and started a show that's designed for you to have a place to come and laugh and pray every day. Halfway through this show, we always stop and pray. Either I do the prayer, or bishop, or reverend, or minister do the prayer. We always open it with comedians, we have musicians and everything. But it's a safe haven that you can come to every day, 5 days a week. And all you gotta do is go to YouTube live. Just go to YouTube and put in the Michael Colyar Morning Show, and you ain't got to see it live. You can watch it anytime, day or night, because we only have a couple of hundred people watch it during the day. But by the time the day is over, 1,100 people have seen that show for that day who come in the afternoon and the evening. You want to see it? It's really good.
That's awesome. Sylvia Traynor, you are also going to be Traymore. I'm sorry. You're also going to be honored, if I'm not mistaken. Do I have some information on you and at the annual Comics Rock convention?
Yes. They're giving me a iconic award.
Nice.
Yes, and I was really pleased and delighted that they asked, could they give that to me? Because it's a big deal. Whenever I get an award, it's like it's such a big deal to me, you know. Oh yeah, so where everybody give out. No.
Who's gonna present the award to you? That's what I'm mad about.
Well, you know what, George.
Did you have any say in that?
I said, I'm gonna call George, and I said I'm gonna and then I found out that you had already been selected for the Lifetime Achievement Award, but they kept changing the dates. So you said you wouldn't be able to do it, and now J. Anthony Brown is getting that. So I think Hope Flood is going to introduce the award to me. So, what I missed something. What I say? What did I miss?
Nothing, but let me tell you, whatever they give you is not going to be enough. You are a gem.
Right.
You are a national treasure. I don't know. Y'all see these little snippets and stuff she doing to show that ain't shit. This woman is brilliant, and I mean when she go into a character, she is that character and makes it funny and makes it real. I get chills watching you. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love you. We really love you. You're a great comedian.
And not only do we love and respect you, but we honor you because you are, you know, the originator. You're right. As they say. You are the woman that, you know, you paved the way for so many women.
And I'll say this quickly. I reflect back often on my days, my early days, like back in the 70s. And when I was walking the streets, I'm like Michael, I was walking the streets trying to find a club to go in because they wouldn't let me perform. Old clubs wouldn't let me go. They were mostly Caucasian clubs. And I would walk the streets. I wouldn't be afraid to go in an alley. I don't know where I got the heart from to do that. But eventually it's all paying off. And I think God just decided not to I think he kept me a secret for a long time, even though I've worked with the best of them. I'm like a young girl, what do you call it? Like George I was so fascinated with his background in terms of who he's opened for, where he's been, his best friends. You know, it's just
I felt that way too till I looked in deeper. Let me tell you something. Sybil, I love how you have the dichotomy of the show. Sybil, because Sylvia is such a genius and such a just a landmark, a wonderful being. And then you got George, who ain't shit. And for you to put on the same show, that's genius.
Hey, Michael, I'm so crazy. Say it again, Michael. Say it again.
But you know what, Michael? When George Wallace walked into Monique's residency, everybody in the room knew that he had walked in, right? So everybody's eyes were on George, and then they were about to bring me out on stage. And I was praying by said, God, please let George like me. Please let George think that I'm all of that. Just please. And at the end of the show, and I'm going to cry because this is what he did. When I got off the stage, George left his seat and came backstage to find me.
Oh, nice.
And when he found me, he told me how amazing I was. He wanted me to work on his show. That's been one of the highlights of my career. Yeah, I've hosted Muhammad Ali.
Need George.
Michael,
been a highlight. This evening has been a highlight for me.
Michael,
and I want to thank you all for being a part of it. I do know that I want to share with you Yogi's Jewels. This is something we do every day, Michael. If it is possible to live in harmony with others, but first you must be at harmony with yourself.
I like me.
That's me.
I know. I'm also inviting you all. I want to remind folks that this Hope Flood event is going to be taking place starting this weekend, August 29th through September 2nd, and it's in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
It is.
Okay, and tomorrow, I want everybody to also know that Monday we are going to be participating in an event for Denny's with Tom Joyner and Terrence J. It's going to be a great opportunity. Go to Facebook and YouTube. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. And this will be Monday evening. We have all of the big muckety mucks from Denny's. We got Jim Miller and John Dillon and our friend April Kelly. And so we ask you all to tune in and go to Facebook and YouTube for more information. And we will see you Monday night after our show. So
I'll get to see you, Sybil. I'll be there Monday. I'll get to meet you in person.
Is that right? Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Follow me on Instagram under Michael Colyar, or you can really follow me on my Cash App. That's $sign Michael Colyar's Money.
I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Bye. Bulltwit, GeorgeWallace.net.
And Sylvia Traymore Morrison, we thank you so much for joining us. Come back anytime.
Yeah,
thank you guys. I love
Thank
y'all.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Michael, thank you too.